Welcome to the Deep Dive. And if you're joining us today, you are right in the middle of what is genuinely breaking news in the music world. I'm Robert Simmons, and I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm Rita Fox, share pronouns. We're diving in because today, July 25th, 2025, well, it marks a huge and honestly a pretty devastating shift for artists, for creators, really worldwide.
Absolutely devastating is the word, Rita. Today is the day TikTok's comprehensive music ban officially kicks in. And we're not just talking a few hit songs here.
Yeah, not at all.
It's basically silencing thousands of independent artists and creators. It feels like a real gut punch to the community that, helped make TikTok what it is.
It's incredibly sweeping, Robert. The ban takes out all music from live streams. So that's original songs, people DJing, AI music.
Even just background tunes.
Even simple background music, yeah, all gone. It hits the very artists who really gave the platform so much of its cultural heartbeat.
You're so right. But, under the surface of all this chaos, there's this deeper issue, isn't there? Something this ban has just kind of brutally laid bare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole ethics of unpaid artistry. We've seen this model where platforms, content creators, they make a lot of money.
Yeah, huge amounts sometimes.
But the artists, the ones actually providing the music that drives engagement, often they get, nothing.
Precisely.
But and here's where the story shifts, maybe gives a little hope. An innovative solution seems to have popped up from Discover You Radio. They're saying artists can keep getting paid and keep their TikTok live going. So our mission today, a deep dive into this. It sounds almost revolutionary. How does it even work?
Okay, so let's peel back another layer, because the ban is the big headline, sure, but what really gets me about this whole situation is what it says about, the economics underneath it all.
It brings us to what I'd call, an ethical void. Just think about it for a second. A creator goes live on TikTok. They've got an artist's track playing. Maybe they're dancing, talking to their audience, asking for those digital gifts, viewer donations.
Happens all the time.
And TikTok, the platform, they're definitely profiting. They take a cut of those donations. But the artist, whose music is basically fueling that whole interaction, generating the buzz, the profit.
They see none of it.
Exactly. No cut whatsoever. It just highlights this massive imbalance, doesn't it?
It really does. And that's exactly what Will Stenner, who owns Discover You Radio, has been pointing out. He's been really vocal on this. He put it pretty bluntly. I think it's worth quoting. You see creators going live on TikTok, playing artist music in the background, dancing and begging for gifts. Where's their cut?
Good question.
Right. And he follows up. If TikTok and creators are profiting from artists' work without compensation, something's fundamentally broken. And here's the key part, I think. His observation was that because TikTok had no tracking mechanism for fair artist payment, just nothing built in, their only move, or the one they saw, was just to shut it all down. Which, it really makes you ask bigger questions, doesn't it? What does this tell us about how we value creative work online, like fundamentally? It feels like a system failure, not just a TikTok problem.
It's a huge challenge. And for a lot of artists, it probably felt like game over. But facing this exact mess, Discover Your Radio came up with this, they call it, they're thinking outside the box solution, the multi-device strategy.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that it seems designed to hit both problems, the technical ban and that ethical payment gap we were just talking about.
And the clever part, what's really ingenious, is this idea of the parallel stream. So artists can keep doing their TikTok lives. They stay compliant, no music playing on TikTok. They use TikTok purely for the interaction, the chat, taking song submissions from their fans. But, and here's the key, at the same time, their audience tunes into Discover You Radio, but on a separate device or platform.
Ah, I see. So the music isn't on TikTok.
Exactly. The music plays legally, ethically, through Discover You Radio's licensed stream. And crucially, the artists get their royalties paid properly that way. It's like you get the artist's live energy on TikTok, and the soundtrack comes from Discover You Radio elsewhere.
And when you say multiple access points for Discover You Radio, you really mean it, don't you? They've got a whole list.
Oh, yeah. It's extensive.
Listeners can use their dedicated Apple app. There's a Google Play app, TuneIn Radio platform, the Live 365 streaming platform. You can stream straight from discoveryuradio.com.
Roku players, too.
Roku, right. Amazon Echo devices, just a separate computer or laptop, even some car stereos with Apple CarPlay, though I think you might need your phone connected for that one, too.
They've really covered the bases, haven't they? Making sure people can actually listen wherever they are.
Yeah, they've cast a super wide net. Accessibility seems key.
And they're pushing it even further, looking ahead with what they're calling AI-powered access, which is fascinating.
AI-powered access, how does that work?
Well, basically, you can just ask your AI assistant, Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, whichever one you use, how do I tune into Discover You Radio? And it should be able to tell you or even connect you. Will Stenner actually said, you got to stay ahead of the curve. We're making sure our artists and listeners can access us through every possible channel.
Wow. So they're really thinking about future tech, too.
Seems like it. It shows a commitment to making sure this solution isn't just a quick fix, but something sustainable as technology evolves.
Okay, so let's really walk through the mechanics then, step by step. How does this actually play out for an artist and for you, the listener? And crucially, how does the ethical payment part work?
Right. Let's break it down.
So, step one, the artist goes live on TikTok. That's their interaction. Hub chatting, updates, taking song requests or submissions.
Standard live stuff, just without the background music now.
Step two, you, the listener, fire up Discover You Radio. Use one of those many ways, the app, the website, Live 365, whatever works for you.
On a separate device, or maybe just a different browser tab.
Exactly. Step three, and this is the core of it, the music plays through, Discover You Radio's licensed stream. That's the legal pathway.
Okay. And that's where the royalty tracking happens.
That's right. This is how artists get their proper royalties paid out. Step four, meanwhile, back on TikTok, the interaction continues. Submissions keep coming in via the live chat. The artist-fan connection stays strong.
So TikTok is for the community, Discover You Radio is for the music.
Precisely. And step five, artists get paid through the legitimate radio licensing system via Discover You Radio. Fair share, properly tracked.
And it's really important to stress what Will Stenner keeps saying. We're not circumventing the rules, we're working within them ethically. This isn't some sneaky hack.
Right, it sounds like it leverages existing systems.
Exactly. Live 365, the platform they use, it's fully licensed. That means they handle all those complex agreements with the PROs, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, the performance rights organizations.
Okay, so the licensing is built in.
Built in. Every single time a song plays on Discover You Radio via Live 365, the system ensures the copyright holders, the artists and songwriters automatically get their cut. If you think about the wider industry, this could actually be a model, couldn't it? A way to monetize content where ethics is just part of the design from the start.
Which leads us perfectly into this other core idea from Discover You Radio. Their slogan, almost, pay to play reversed.
Ah, yeah, that's a really interesting concept.
It totally flips the old radio model on its head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Historically, you hear stories of artists having to pay or feeling pressured to pay just to get their songs on the radio. A huge barrier.
The payola scandals and just the general difficulty for indie artists.
But Discover You Radio says, no, we will not play your music unless you, the artist, have actually purchased it first.
Yeah.
It's the reverse.
It is. And the reason they exclusively source music through iTunes is really multi-layered. It's not arbitrary. It seems very strategic, designed to protect both the artists and their own station operations.
Okay, so why iTunes specifically?
Well, first off, metadata integrity. Think about it. A song needs its title, artist name, album, copyright info, all that data.
Right, so it can be identified and tracked.
Exactly. Without solid metadata, royalties can't be paid correctly. The song might get lost online. Fans can't find it. iTunes generally ensures that data is embedded properly, which guarantees artists get credited and ultimately paid.
Makes sense. What else?
Second, security protection. This one's huge for a radio station. Downloads from iTunes are verified. They're virus-free.
Ah, unlike random email attachments.
Precisely. Will Stenner talks about the risk of malicious files, sometimes called worms, attached to song files sent via email. He says these can create a devastating blow to Discover You Radio's infrastructure. Imagine a virus taking the whole station offline.
Yeah, that would be catastrophic.
So sourcing only through a secure platform like iTunes protects their whole operation. It's a critical safeguard for them.
Okay, so metadata, security, any other reasons for iTunes?
Yes. Third, chart recognition. This is a big one for artists wanting to build careers. Purchases on iTunes are tracked by Luminate.
Luminate.
Yeah.
That used to be Nielsen SoundScan, right? The Billboard chart people.
That's the one. So every purchase through iTunes counts towards official Billboard chart reporting. It gives artists actual recognized sales figures, not just stream counts that might not translate into industry recognition.
So it helps their visibility in a measurable way.
And finally, fourth, royalty assurance. An iTunes purchase ensures the artist gets paid for that initial sale. And then, because the metadata is clean and the track is legitimately sourced, they also get paid for the subsequent radio spins on Discover You Radio through the Live 365 licensing. It's like a double guarantee.
Wow. So this pay-to-play reverse thing, it's not just a catchy phrase. It sounds like a whole ecosystem built around making sure things are done right, securely, and ethically, from purchase to airplay.
That's exactly how it seems. They've really thought through the mechanics of it.
And that security point you mentioned about email attachments, that brings up a really crucial policy artists need to know about, right?
Absolutely. Will Stunner is very clear, almost stark, in his warning about submitting music via email. Because of that virus risk, those worms that can create a devastating blow, Discover You Radio has a strict, non-negotiable policy.
Which is?
They will never download song attachments sent through email, period. Artists must use the official submission form on the Discover You Radio website. That's the only way they'll accept music for consideration.
Okay, that's crystal clear. Submit via the website form, not email attachments.
It's about protecting everyone, the station, and ultimately the artists they serve. Stunner really frames it as doing right by the artists while protecting our ability to serve them. That pay-to-play reversed is their commitment baked into how they operate.
So let's try and tie this all together then. What's the immediate impact? What does this actually mean for an independent artist trying to navigate this?
Well, this chaotic new TikTok landscape.
Well, the immediate benefits seem pretty tangible.
Like what?
First, you get to keep engaging with your audience on TikTok Live without breaking the rules. That connection isn't lost. That's huge.
Oh, hey, continued engagement.
Second, guaranteed royalty payments.
Yeah.
Because the music plays through the licensed Discover You radio stream, the money flows correctly. That's the ethical core.
Right, actual payment.
Third, a clear, secure way to submit new music for discovery via their website form. They're still taking submissions, still promoting artists.
So a path for new music.
Fourth, you're actually building your audience across two platforms, simultaneously keeping the TikTok community engaged while also driving listeners to a dedicated radio platform where your music lives and earns.
Multi-platform building, yeah.
And fifth, that universal accessibility we talked about. Apps, web, AI, smart speakers, making sure fans can tune in easily wherever they are. It really does sound like a comprehensive workaround.
It seems like it. And I think Will Stunner's overall message here is really important. He keeps saying artists deserve their fair share. He sees this TikTok ban not just as a disaster, but maybe as a necessary push, something forcing us to find better, more ethical ways to support independent musicians.
Turning a crisis into a catalyst.
Exactly. He stresses, this is about more than workarounds. It's about building a sustainable future where artists get paid for their contributions to our culture. And just as a reminder for listeners, Discover You Radio is a fully licensed station through Live 365. They offer free submissions via their site, promotional services, and those TikTok Lives run Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Time.
Really practical lifeline, it seems.
Yeah, connecting it to the bigger picture, it feels like a real example of innovation being sparked by, well, by necessity. A positive outcome from a tough situation.
Absolutely. Discover You Radio really seems to have taken this major industry crisis and flipped it into an opportunity for ethical innovation, maybe pointing toward the more sustainable path for indie artists. This whole model, this approach to fair compensation, it's definitely something for all of us to think about. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? How might this change how you engage with music and creators online?
Well, it definitely raises a big question, doesn't it? If a dedicated, maybe smaller online radio station like Discover You Radio can figure out such a robust ethical system for paying artists and reaching audiences, what does that say about the bigger players? What are the possibilities and maybe the responsibilities of the huge digital platforms?
Good point.
It kind of challenges us as listeners and consumers, doesn't it, to think about supporting ethical consumption. How can we make choices that help ensure the artists creating the music, the culture we enjoy, are actually getting paid fairly? How can we all maybe try to stay ahead of the curve in supporting a healthier ecosystem?
That is a powerful thought to chew on. Definitely something to consider. We really encourage you to check out Discover Why Radio's platform, see how it works, and maybe dig a bit deeper into these issues of digital content, value, and artist compensation. Until next time, keep digging deeper.